Welcome back to math. Today we're going to be talking about subtracting fractions. Subtracting fractions. It may sound scary to you. I hope you're not afraid, because it really is very easy, and I like it. I think it's kind of fun. So let's see if we can help you understand it. All right. So we have a half, and we also have a third. We're going to subtract a half and a third. Okay, so let's see how we do that. Well, we do just like we did when we were adding. We're going to take our lines, and let me change my color here. So we're going to take this line that goes from here, and we're just going to scoot it over like that, because we're going to make the what? The same bottom number. We're going to go like that, and then we're going to take that middle line from the half, and we're going to go like that, right? All right, so we have a half, and we're going to take a third away from it. So I'm going to ask you, how much are we going to be taking away from the half? Well, we're going to take this one away, right? From this. Does that make sense? And then we're going to take this one away from this. So what does that equal? Well, that's going to equal 1 over how many items? Well, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So our bottom number is going to be
1 over 6.
6. Well, that's what we're going to end up with. So we're going to end up with 1 over 6. But let's go ahead, and I got a little ahead of myself. Sorry, guys. We need to put our number down for that one. So we have 3 6 is a half, because 3 is half of 6. And our thirds are 1, we have 2 of those. So we're going to take 2 away from 3, and that's going to give us this 1, right? Does that make sense? Does everybody kind of get that? Okay, let's do another problem. Okay, so I went ahead and I've drawn out our boxes again. We have a third, and we're going to take a fourth away from the third. So what are we going to have to do? Well, we could draw our lines, right? Our lines this way, and this nice line here, this way, right? We're pretending that these are all equal, okay? So let's write out our bottom number first. I forgot to tell you to do that last time, sorry. So let's take a look at what we have. And if you guys can count them with me, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So what's my bottom number? It's going to be a 12. How many do I have on this side right here?
3.
I've got 3. I'm going to put my subtraction sign, right? Subtraction. We don't call it minus anymore, by the way. We call it subtracting. Now, what are we going to do on the side with the third? We're going to want to draw our lines for our fourths, right? So there's an easy way to do it if you'd like. Try to find your middle spot, and you can draw the halfway line, and then you cut the half in half. Get it? And that gives you your fourths. What's our bottom number here?
12.
It's 12. And how many do we have on this side? We got 1, 2, 3. We got 4 of them, so it's 4 twelfths. And we're going to take away 3 twelfths. So 4 minus 3 equals 1. And our bottom numbers stay the same, so it's 1 over 12. And our answer here is 1/12. That's a good job. Because what we did is that we took this one and we crossed it out here. We took this one and we crossed it out here. And we took this one and we crossed it out here. And that's how we ended up with what?
1/12.
Yeah, with this 1 of the 12 pieces. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right. let's draw out another one. Okay, some people may not understand what I'm doing when I'm crossing things off, like here, like when I'm doing this crossing off. So let me explain that. Let's talk about cents. Let's pretend that we have 4 pennies up here, and we're going to take a, what's the right word? Subtract 3 of the pennies, okay? So how are we going to do that? It's really very easy. Let me change my color. Here we go. I'm going to take this penny away from this, because this one over here, on subtraction problems, it all starts with a total. You have a total number. And in this case, it's 4 cents. And we're going to subtract 3 cents. And I'm going to show you how that's done with the crossing out method, okay? So, let me take these crossing out things out one more, out, because I don't want anyone to be confused. Okay, I think I'm going to use, you know what, I'm going to use my highlighter to cross them out. So, when I take, this is the one that I'm taking away, right? I'm taking away 3 pennies from my 4 pennies. So I'm going to take this one out from here, okay? And this one gets crossed off, and this one gets crossed off. So these pennies are all gone, right? Now I have 2 more pennies in my total, and I have 1 more penny that I have to take away. Do you see that? So I'm going to cross this one off, and I cross off this one, and it shows that I have how many pennies left over. I have 1 cent, right? Or if I was to draw this out as a penny, like I did with the other one, I'd have 1 cent. Because that's this one here, that's my, what I have left. It's my total. Sorry. It's my, what do you call it when you have a subtraction problem and the answer to a subtraction problem is, what is the answer to a subtraction problem?
Difference.
It's the difference. You're right. So that's the difference. Okay, so I took away my 3 pennies from my 4 pennies, and I could even show you my 4 fingers, and I take 3 of them away, it leaves me with 1 finger. It's the same with the 4 pennies. I had 4 pennies, I took 3 of them away, it left me with 1 penny. So that's the concept of the crossing out idea, okay? So let's draw out another problem, shall we? Okay, we are on lesson 6, which we're going to be subtracting from a whole number. So as you can see, we have our whole number right here. We've got a 1, and we're going to take away a third. So this is a really easy one to do, and here's why. Because you take your third lines and you just draw them right in there. Okay, so now we have 1/3 here, and now what do we make this one into? Well, how many pieces do we have total? We have 3, right? And how many of the 3 do we have? We have 1, 2, we have all 3 of them, don't we? So we're going to put a 3 over 3, bring down our subtraction sign and our third, okay? And we're going to use our crossing out method, okay? So I'm going to take this third away from here, okay? And that's going to leave us with
2/3.
2/3. So 3 minus 1 is 2, and the bottom number stays the same. So our answer is 2/3. I could do it like this, which I think was pretty cool. I could go like that, taking that one away from this one, and boom, we have our 2/3 left. It's kind of neat color-wise, but it doesn't work really well to do the erasing business. So I'll just leave it that way, okay? All right, let's draw out another problem, shall we? All right, as you can see, we have 1 whole, that's why we have a 1 here, and 1/3. So we have a whole and a third, and we're gonna subtract a half from that. As you can see, we have a half there. Okay, so remember what we have to do. We have to put our lines in places so that everything is the same, right? So let's go ahead and do that. I'll change my color so it might be easier for you to see. I'm going to take my half line and I'm going to run down here. Now this is going to turn it into what number? What number is this going to, what's our bottom number?
6.
6. Okay, nice. So I'm going to put a 6 here, and I'm going to put a 6 here, right? Now what do I have to do to the half on this side? Well, I have to make these lines over here, right? So I'm just making these lines. Now what do I have in the half? I have how many out of 6? Well, I've got 1, 2, 3. So I've got 3 6, right? And on my third, how many 6 do I have? I have 2 6. So what do I have to do to my whole number? Because I could start to subtract, right? I could start crossing these off. But do I have enough to cross off on this side? I don't, do I? Because I'm going to have to cross off 3 of them. And I only have 2 to cross off here, so I'm going to have to make another box of how many? 6, right. So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to draw our middle, our half line, and then we're going to draw our third line, like right over here. Does that make sense? So I'm going to put a 6 down below the 1, and how many of the 6s do I have over here?
6.
I have 6, all 6 of my 6s, right? So now we can go to the crossing off method. I'm going to cross them off in black, okay? So I'm going to take this one out from this. I'll take this one out from this. And here's where it's, I got to take that one out from this one. So, how do we show this? Well, this 3, we could say, well, we have 2 things over the top here, right? We're going to take away each of these 2, so that gets rid of that, right? And we took away 2 of them, right? So it leaves us with 1 thing, and we took 1 away from here, and that would be 5 6, right? So our answer is 5 6. Did that make sense to you? Because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 left over. That's how we get our 5 6. Or really, I wrote it over here. Okay? Does that make sense? I hope so. This is really very easy to do. Don't let the 1 whole fool you. Now what we could have done, and let me move this up just slightly, because what we could have done is we could have taken our 6 6 and we could have added it to our 2 6, and that would have given us what? 8 6, right? Which is obviously more than 1 whole, huh? Because we had 1 whole there, didn't we? So, and then we could subtract our 3 6 from it, and if we have 8 things and we take 3 away, it's going to leave us with 5, and our bottom number stays the same as the 6. So do you see how we could take both of these to make it in, sorry, I put it in the wrong spot there. I'm going to use this highlighter. We could take both of these numbers to make this number, and then we could bring down our subtraction, bring down our problem, and we could do our subtraction that way too. So you can show it a couple of different ways, and that's okay. Whichever way makes most sense to you, I want you to use it that way, all right? Well, I hope that this lesson's been helpful. Feel free to watch it again if you need, okay? I love math.